Some things I expected, some I didn't. Let's get on with the review. As a creator here on YouTube, companies sometimes contact me about partnerships or sponsorships. It's how the creator economy works. Now, I am an engineer for my day job, specializing in CNCs and machining in general. So when WizMaker contacted me about reviewing their desktop CNC, I was a little skeptical at first. I typically work in tight tolerances, and WizMaker was boasting a 0.1 millimeter tolerance. And for us Imperial folks, that's 0.0039 inches, so round plus or minus 4 thousandths, basically. We're not talking press fits with like plus or minus 1 thousandth, but it's pretty decent tolerance for a desktop CNC machine. And I'll be honest, I've never heard of them prior to receiving an email, so I went and checked them out. And upon first inspection of the website, this thing looked pretty well made. It looks like other CNC machines that you can get if you peruse Amazon, but this one has upgradable things like a 4th axis and a 500 watt spindle, and lots of other accessories, although those are the top ones. After seeing what they were about, I said yes to the review, and here we are. Full disclosure, they did send me this machine, and I'll tell you what I told them. I will evaluate this machine for what it is, and I will be fair, while using some of my industry knowledge to test this machine for its capabilities. I'm going to test if this 0.1 millimeter tolerance is actually attainable, and I'm going to put this thing through some really complicated toolpaths as well, generated by CAM. Now, this is a 2-part review, so this will be for the basic function of the machine. On the next review, I'm going to test cutting with non-ferrous materials like brass and aluminum, along with testing the 4th axis and the 500 watt spindle. Unboxing and assembly was pretty straightforward. It was packaged extremely well with custom foam and locked into place so no damage would happen during shipping. I'm going to let the video here sum it up for you. Now that is not the sound you want to hear when you power on a CNC. The steppers were struggling and it could not home. Each axis has a knob that allows you to manually turn the lead screw to move the gantry, so I worked things back and forth, added a little spray lubrication, and was able to get her to home just fine. You have the ability with the pennant to run the machine with no extra hookups. You can center your material using their centering program calculator. Set your Z height either with the tool probe or just zeroing the Z axis on your material using the paper trick. There is a USB slot for loading your NC programs, and you can just hit go once you have all coordinates set. The machine comes with its own CNC controller software called Candle on the USB. It puts all the buttons more easily at hand for coordinate setting, loading programs, and seeing the progress on a program with a visualizer and script window. You can move the machine with each axis at a time on the pennant, but it's much easier to just type in coordinates in Candle to go where you want, to go for measuring tools or setting your work home. I like Candle just fine, but I did wind up setting up a CNC control box with a Raspberry Pi to run G-Center, which has a few more options. I think the hardest part about CNC is the programming. You will need a CAD and CAM for making these parts. There's lots of them out there like Fusion, Onshape, SolidWorks, FreeCAD. Despite my lashings against Fusion, I gave their CAM a try on all these and it worked quite well. For those who don't know, CAD is computer-aided design, and CAM is computer-aided manufacturing. Basically, CAD is where you draw it, and CAM is where you tell your machine how to make it. I started the testing with an accuracy test on some walnut veneered plywood. I used to run a water jet, and in order to calibrate the axes from the controller, you would cut a known size square, measure it, and see whether it cut what dimensions it was supposed to. This is supposed to be a 3-inch square. The Artisan 01 comes with an 1/8 inch ER11 collet, so I started this cut with an 1/8 inch milling bit. Later on I ordered a 1/4 inch ER11 collet to up my ability to make larger cuts and have a larger selection of bits. It's nice that this is an option if you know what to look for. WizMaker does not sell these collets that I know of. You can get them from McMaster-Carr or other vendors like Grainger or MSC, possibly even Amazon. After cutting the square, the dimensional accuracy was pretty good. Phenomenal, actually. The square measured 3.0005 inches, meaning it was just half a thousandth of an inch too large, or 5/10. That is a press fit, actually. It was well below the 0.1 millimeters or 4/1000 of an inch tolerance they boasted. Each test in this review will hopefully get more interesting. The next test was a round shape in the same material with the goal of cutting a 2.5 inch diameter circle. Cutting a circle is different than cutting a square because it's using both X and Y axis simultaneously. This is a step up on the accuracy test, but I gotta say it still performed admirably. Although not quite as impressive as the square accuracy, this time it measured 0.0015 inches smaller than the intended 2.5 inches. Their boasted tolerance. For a desktop CNC that isn't made out of cast iron for rigidity, this thing is performing pretty well. I'm actually getting sold on this machine. Now it's time to really put it to the test. I had gone through accuracy, I had tested some more artistic layouts. This one is going to be a combination of both by doing some 3D carving. This is a longer cycle time of around 4 hours with complex geometry. There will be no real way to measure the accuracy on this, but it will definitely test the machine's endurance for longer cuts. Now this is where an old friend came back to say hello. The axes were sticking again, challenging the NEMA 17 motors. The first time it happened, the machine just simply lost its location after sticking and continued on with the program. These stepper motors are an open loop, and that basically means the controller has no idea when they have lost their location. It's to be expected in a hobby machine like this and not really surprising. I had issues with the axis sticking for quite a while in this program. I even tested simulating the NC program on an NC visualizer just to check if something was wrong with the G-code, and it was fine. I gotta say that WizMaker was very helpful in working with me to fix this issue, and with a little modification of parameters and realizing that my main problem was that the grease they use locks up in colder temperatures, the issue was resolved. I have an uninsulated shop, and the temperatures around here were in the 20s at night a couple of times during this review. The next day after these cold temps occurred were when I had my most prominent issues. I even went so far as to contact another creator during this review process to see if they had any problems, and they did not. They also live in Florida, so there you go. So I was eventually able to cut my dragon shield successfully and get this going. After solving the problems at hand, it cut beautifully. Complex, simultaneous axis cuts on hardwood did really well. So final thoughts. Overall, I think this is actually quite a good desktop CNC machine. It can accomplish tight tolerances if that's what you're looking for. If you consider all the specs together, it has some appealing qualities. The overall machine construction is pretty solid. It's made of thick sheet metal in a lot of places, and it's got some really rugged linear bearings for the Y-axis on the gantry. You can see it if I lift up here. Got some great linear bearings here. All lead screw here, and another linear bearing there. So it's got some solid undercarriage here. 1/4-inch aluminum plates, sheet metal construction. It does really well, and you can tell I've put it through its paces because it's filthy. The gantry itself is pretty solid, and it's made of some anodized aluminum in lots of places. Visually speaking, it's very impressive right out of the box. The NEMA 17 stepper motors are right here on the side and on the top here and in the back, and they work fairly well. If I had my druthers, I'd probably wish for a step up to like NEMA 23 stepper motors to have a little more torque. But that would probably compromise cost, and you're getting a rather affordable machine already. Right now, if you go to Amazon and look at some of the CNC machines on there, you'd be able to get something a little cheaper than this. This one's definitely a little bit more expensive than that. But if you go look at some of the more robust desktop CNCs like the Carve from WizMaker, in my opinion, you're getting a little bit more accuracy on this machine than, say, the generic Amazon CNC machines, but you're also not paying $2,500 for it. Not knocking Carve, it looks like a really great machine. I have yet to have hands on it. This is kind of a nice step up from the ones that might make you question on Amazon why they're $200. At this point, it's close to a $600 machine straight up. So you're paying for a little bit more accuracy, but you're not paying out the nose for it either. So it depends on what your needs are. The Carve and this machine are definitely two different kinds of machines, but they're both claiming 0.1 millimeters of accuracy. You could have this kind of machine that has proven to be fairly accurate and comparable to a $2,500 machine for $600. Not a bad ask, really. Comparing them further, there is no tool changer, but there is a larger bed surface. Now, I haven't tested cutting aluminum or brass yet on this, so I don't know how that's going to compare to other machines that are known or boast to be able to cut those kind of metals. So I have yet to cut metal on this one yet, but in the second part of this review, I'm going to test that with the 4th axis, like I mentioned earlier. Stay tuned for that in the next few weeks. So to sum it all up, it passes the accuracy test, it passes the engraving test, and it passed the endurance test with a little help. I gotta say, WizMaker was still very helpful on that. When I was in a bind, literally, they responded really well. This machine is made in China, and in the past, that has had a stigma. More and more as we progress and as China develops their processes, we're seeing more and more quality items coming from there, and I really do think this machine has a chance. I can't speak to its longevity, but rest assured I'll be using it and giving it everything I can. Check out the link for the Artisan 01 from WizMaker in the link below. Keep finding better ways to be a better maker.
It's a good quality item. If you don't mind, me asking how much it set you back.
You smell something?
Fried pussycat.